Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh. Today we've got a game between Treadz as our Africa core. His opponent today is going to be oziligath as our US. Map today is going to be Samoa. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. It is French, and as you all know, I am awful at pronouncing things. Cool map. I think that this has been in the pool since Company of Heroes 1. I should really just look that up because I doubt myself every time I say that. It was definitely in Company of Heroes 2. A lot of guaranteed resource points connected to your base here, allowing you to have a fair amount of income without doing much at all, and being very difficult for your opponent to deny you those resources. About 20 fuel up for grabs in the middle here. Relatively easy to be connected to said fuel, and leads to some... It leads to both players having a significant amount of resources, and even when resources do trade hands, it's fairly limited. So what ends up happening is both players go to the mid and late game with the same amount of resources, and the fights really center around those victory points, which I think is a cool map layout. You know, I think it leads to some interesting plays. Now, a lot of people don't like this map. They say it's, well, a little too much of a cage fight, and that is their prerogative. Now, they did patch this map. What I think they did is that they adjusted... I want to say they adjusted this cutoff point here so that this fuel wasn't connected to this fuel. And I think that's what happened, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't have the old map in front of me. In any case, both players opening fairly standard. You know, this patch, I have seen pretty much every Africa core player. Well, that's not true. Many players have been going for this 3 Pioneer opening, and I don't know why that is. Panzer Pioneers, to my knowledge, did not receive any changes, and neither did the Panzer Grenadiers for the Africa core. So, that said, no harm, no foul. I think it's a fine build. Can lead to some grenades, can lead to some flamethrowers, especially on a tight map like this with lots of buildings. Flamethrowers can be pretty good. US player going up to his 3rd rifleman now. And our German player has locked in the Battlefield Espionage battle group. The word battle appearing twice in the name. So, I think this is a pretty good battle group for this map. Lots of place to hide these. Oh, he's going for the Subterfuge beacon. Very, very cool. Okay, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Our German player did just add on his, I believe, yeah, the, goodness sake, light support company there, and is adding on the Assault Grenadiers. Assault Grenadiers also good on this map because of how closed things can get in the middle here. So, our German has gone for the Subterfuge beacon. This is an unusual choice in this battle group. And I am so happy to see it because it was patched in this particular patch. Let me pull it up here. If I could find it in the patch notes. Here we go. So it had its manpower reduced from 75 to 60. Now this beacon allows you to siphon resources from your opponent when they control a region. And something that I don't know, big grenade here, going to hit those Assault Grenadiers, Riflemen getting in this house and also flanking. So this is not a fight these Panzer Grenadiers want. Excuse me, Assault Grenadiers, but actually they're making it work. I mean, these close quarters favoring these units. Another grenade going to go in the house, dodging out just in time. Motorbike helping out the whole time. AT grenade going to make short work of that bike, though. And cool kids don't look at explosions, as you know. And wow, I cannot believe those Assault Grenadiers won that fight. That was very impressive. So, okay, another change from this patch is that Assault Grenadiers do way more, not way more, they do more damage up close, I want to say, and maybe I have the wrong unit. I see. I confused the assault grenadiers from the Wehrmacht compared to this unit from the Afrika Corps. Now here's the Subterfuge beacon. So it's going to siphon 75% of those resources from the beacon's owner. Very cool. Looks like he may even go deep here and put one behind this hedgerow here, which would be very cool. Wow, this is so cool to see him doing this. Scout's searching, though. Maybe has a... Oh, does know that there's a beacon in the area, right? Because he's got this indicator over his head. So it should know that it's here, and he's going to search far and wide. He's going to have to find it in the corner here, and another one going down. This is so awesome. Now, these units need to get out of here without being seen. And he's going to retreat. So very cool. So again, I mean, his opponent knows that this is happening. And how much are we talking? 75%? Yeah, I mean, it turns a 10 into a 3. That's awesome. Okay. So despite the map control advantage for our U.S. player, our German player is keeping fairly even on resources because of what he did there. So very cool. Wasting that scout's time, at least for a while. And wasting a ton of APM, too. I think that's really what it comes down to. We have seen an mechanized assault grenadiers on the field as well. Half-track looks like it's going to go down here. Nicely done. And well-executed start for our German player here. Assault grenadiers going to find this rifleman up top. Prevent that capturing from happening, and is going to chase here. I think the rifleman should do okay getting out. Maybe not. That's a long way to go. Long way to go, and no support in sight. That'll be a nice get if our German can make it happen. He has more assault grenadiers waiting down on this cutoff point, and he is going to cut his opponent off from a reasonable amount of resources. Can he get this rifleman? Yes, he can. Nice pickup. Second half-track on the field here. Or on the way here. Assault Grenadiers trying to push these scouts off the point. Not going to happen. A lot of U.S. forces here, though. Grenade coming out. Half-track from across the river there. Another grenade. Oh, smoke grenade this time. Forcing the rifleman to come in close. And I don't think that's a spot you want to be as a rifleman. Eating a grenade on the way out. And can stand in the smoke there to prevent this decapture from happening. These both these players being rather tricky. That's funny. So, over the course of the start of this game, our U.S. player managed to burn off 100 points from his opponent there. So is going to cut into, well, going to be a little bit behind. Of course, has plenty of breathing room. German player adding on, I believe that's the Flak Panzer. Flak half-track. I always say Flak Panzer, and I just can't help it, and I'm going to apologize right now, because I suspect that won't be the last time. Mines going down for our German as well. And love to see mines. You know, field defense has got a huge buff this patch. I know some of you are probably sick of me saying that by now. But I'm going to keep saying it until you believe me and you start building field defenses, because it will change your life. Low APM. What did that say? Kill point being what? Being siphoned? Oh, he's got a siphon on this one as well? Where is it? Where is it? Huh, okay. Very cool. Heavy machine gun fighting with this half-track. Oh, there it is, I see it. Black half-track here helping out. There is the siphon. So even if his opponent controls this sector, He's still siphoning those resources, and this, you know, all in, he's only spent what? With the new cost, it is... How much did I say? I said 50 manpower. So, I mean, it's only cost him 150 manpower to build 3 of these things. And his opponent did find those 2. But, okay, German gonna throw down another one here. US player may have seen him doing that. And, of course, he is gonna see the, he's gonna see the prompt when it comes up here. US rifleman finding this beacon here, and I absolutely, this is so awesome. I mean, I know it's kind of a meme, you know, getting, you know, sure, putting 1 or 2 down, hoping your opponent doesn't notice, but he's put 4 down, and I mean, I guess he has siphoned resources, and he's made his opponent waste time looking for those. I mean, that's so cool. Like, I actually, you know, overall, it's cost him 200 manpower to waste his opponent's time. And the question is that worth it? And I definitely don't know. But I think we'll find out over the course of this game. Now, something else they buffed was the indirect fire support. So they buffed the ISG support gun for the Africa Corps. They buffed a few other light artillery units, but none of those are going to be making an appearance in this game. And I really hope we get to see that support gun, because I think it's really good. Big grenade barrage there, almost wiping that heavy machine gun, barely going to live. Assault Grenadiers pushing in. Now this half-track has been upgraded to the 75mm. So not much use against those Assault Grenadiers. Black half-track going really deep here. Hunting these riflemen, maybe? Setting up, defending his siphon subterfuge beacon there. Yeah, so I'd love to see an wait, IEG, yeah, I see IG-18. I always call it the support gun. But I don't think others call it that. Half track going down to the 75mm. Nice pickup for him. Yeah, this map in particular being small, you know, easy to put your support gun right here. Barrage pretty much this entire half of the map. And something like that could make the US player's life a little bit difficult. Missing 75mm, missing this half track. Looks like he wants to chase. That's a good decision not to. He does not know what's in the fog of war. And it's a good thing he didn't, because here come the mechanized Panzerjäger there. 75mm. So US player got a run here. German chasing down this half-track with his half-track there. Nice pickup. Very aggressive play. And nice to see it work out for once. Honestly, I feel like a lot of games I cast, when players dive like that, it does not work out for them, but it did in this case. Flamethrowers cooking those heavy machine guns right out of that building. And just look at all this infantry for oziligath there. I think we're going to be seeing a Pershing pretty, you know, as basically as soon as possible. If I could switch to the correct player here. Yeah, so they nerfed the Pershing. It now costs 11 command points instead of 10. And it also vets up slower. Now, what that looks like in practice, I don't actually know. But I do suspect we'll see that unit a bit slowed down, get up to speed a little bit slower. Oddly enough, they did buff this Toad M5 3-inch anti-tank gun. Basically, again, giving that its barrage is way, way, way better. I don't think I've seen a single person call that in, but I do really like that the devs gave, you know, they went through all the battle groups, and I feel like they touched the parts of the battle group that were just completely unusable. For example, the burnout ability from the British Canadian Battle Shock group. Excuse me, Canadian Shock Battle Group. The burnout on that has to compete with incendiary munitions. And incendiary munitions is just absolutely bonkers good. But burnout is also extremely good, especially in team games. And that buff, I think, is just really cool. So, German player did put another subterfuge building up in that top point there. So, what's so interesting about these subterfuge beacons is that he can basically, he doesn't have to capture, he just throws one down, and then his opponent has to spend time looking for it. I just can't get over how crazy this beacon is. Alright, so our German is going for armored reserves here. So I suspect we're going to see, we may see a Tiger in this game. I think Tiger on this map is very, very good. See if he ends up building that. He could go something like the double Stug call-in or even a Panzer IV. But both players should be recognizing that they have not seen much fuel investment from either player. And they could be expecting some big tanks on the field in not too short of order. German player controlling both victory points for the first time in what feels like forever. Riflemen everywhere, grenade coming out somewhere, which I'm not going to see it happen. Looks like it's going down on that heavy machine gun. 50 cal is now on the field suppressing this Panzer Jaeger there. Yeah, and I mean, this is the part of the game where I think a support gun's going to get really good. Because our US player has a couple heavy machine guns. He's using them to lock down the center. And indirect fire support would do wonders to help with that. Scouts looking for this subterfuge beacon. Is going to find it from the looks of things. I like that our German is playing mind games with him a little bit, right? You know, you might think, oh, it's way over here. So, man, we're going to see parts of this map I have never seen before because I have to keep looking for these subterfuge beacons. And so does our US player. That's so great. Mine going down, nicely done. I think deep mines on this map in particular are really good, especially when you're concerned about a Pershing, because a Pershing likes to dive in some cases. Smoke grenade isolating these scouts from these assault grenadiers. Assault grenadiers going to do some serious work there. Close the gap with these riflemen. Now the riflemen have added on bar rifles, which is unusual. I don't think bars saw a change. The only change that we saw to like fuel economy for US was the motor pool, I think. Just doing a quick scan through the patch notes here. Yeah, I don't think they didn't change bar rifles. There's still 40 fuel, I believe. Quickly checking. Now, our US player did add on the motor pool, which is interesting. Now, he did get a discount on that. AT guns on this map are good, in general, in my opinion. Well, I think they're good everywhere, but on this map, you often see them used right down the center lane here, or even crosswise this way. But the reason I think they're good is because you can keep them in this area, and they're relatively safe. We are going to see a AT gun from our US player. And I'm over here hoping that oziligath goes for the 3-inch gun instead of the Pershing. I don't think that's going to happen. But a guy, I can hope. So now this building is extremely low. And And yeah, our US player needs to be really careful getting in that building these days. German player floating a metric ton of manpower. This will be the last time I say it. I think a support gun right now would be perfect. He has extra manpower. He's saving up for probably a Tiger. And got the manpower to spare. That said, he's getting it done with what he has. So, no harm, no foul. I just keep looking at the mini-map, expecting to see more subterfuge beacons, but I have not. Okay, so Treadz just picked up Operation Scorpion. This saw a buff in the last patch, and Church finally going down there. Still going to act as a sight blocker. And let me take a quick look here. Big hit on that AT gun there. Gonna mess these Flame Pioneers up. Did manage to get behind the AT gun and heavy machine gun, and boy, almost taking out the heavy machine gun. US player needs to be really careful here that he doesn't lose this AT gun. That would be unfortunate for him. 50 cal over here pinning those assault grenadiers down. And it does look like our US player is going to be able to recover it. And looks like he is going to beat back this push, so ultimately just a bit of manpower rather than a ton of manpower from something like the AT gun being stolen. Let me see. Scorpion. Another good hit by that AT gun there. Smoke grenade gonna get this flak panzer out of there. Heavy machine gun over here getting wrecked by the 50 cal. Bar rifles are gonna push away these panzer pioneers. Flamethrower gonna come back in though. Okay, so Operation Scorpion no longer slows. Vehicles are camouflaged, but move 0% slower. So camouflaged vehicles just are super good, and they made this thing cheaper. So it still says 150 munitions here, but patch notes say it should cost 125. Not sure which is the case. Try and keep an eye on our German's munitions to see if I can capture him doing that. It does feel like I mean, that's the end of the tree there, so it does feel like he went up to that with the intention of using it. That said, he doesn't actually have, you know, a whole lot of vehicles other than this flak half-track, so... US player getting close to the Pershing here. Got another 3 points to go. AT gun using the flare to spot. Funk Panzer here helping out. Has put a Goliath on the field. Now, Goliaths didn't see a buff, but I swear everyone and their mother is using Goliaths. I think I posted a game, I want to say one video before this. In any case, saw a ton of Goliaths in that game. Smoke grenade from the Assault Grenadiers, gonna give them cover. More Assault Grenadiers closing the distance up here, but unfortunately for them, walking through a bar. And our US player has been adding secondary bar rifles to at least one of his squads. Here comes a Goliath, though. Nice pickup on the 50 cal there. Probably going to get it, too. Greyhound on the field. Doing some serious work. So they buffed the heck out of the Greyhound. And I know I'm about to throw out some numbers that may not sound like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it is a substantial buff to the armored car. So they reduced the cost of the motor pool by 5, which I think is really good. Was that a mine or a Panzer Faust? I think that was a mine. And Tiger on the field for our German. That's going to be really annoying for our US player to deal with. Man, so much actioning, I can't finish a thought here. That's okay. Yeah, so sorry to see that Greyhound go, but it is good news is it's a little bit cheaper to get there, and I love that Relic did that. Oh wow, Funk Panzer stealing this AT gun. That is so awesome. What a nice little steal by Treadz. Wow. Wow, wow. That blinking rather red though. And despite the fact that it is very red, our German player does control 2 of the victory points. Now he still has quite a bit to go, so he is not hurting bad yet. So good to see. I mean, great time to get control of the victory points, right? Right when you're about halfway down, and it's going to be perfect for him. But this player definitely has an income advantage. At least in terms of, well, yeah, he has an income advantage, period, end of story. So good for him. Ooh, huge hit from the Tiger. AT gun across the river, gonna deal some serious damage to this Tiger. Actually penetrating twice, that's impressive. Assault Grenadiers hitting a mine on the way out from the looks of things. Flame Pioneers doing some serious work there, cooking those riflemen. Tiger backed off a little bit, so the AT gun can't help out. Bazookas penetrating a little bit. Nice phosphorus shot onto this building, forcing those Pioneers out of there. I love this phosphorus round. I think it's really cool to see players use it as much as they do. And I like that the developers gave bazookas some utility, like meaningful utility, so. AT gun repositioned. Continuing to get decent penetration on that front armor. Fortunately for our US player. Panzer Pioneers probably got to bail out. Huge hit from the Tiger. Ooh, nice mine there. Picking up a couple more models. And nicely done. Like that our German pushed in there a little bit. Remind the US player who's boss. Goliath hiding here. Very cool. Man, our German player is being sneaky. All game long he's been sneaky. He's been throwing down these subterfuges, annoying the crap out of his opponent. He's been using Goliaths. He's got mines in deep positions. It's just being real sneaky. Tiger moving up here, unsupported. Flak half-track is there, dealing some work. AT grenades snaring this Tiger, allowing that AT gun to get several good hits. Does look like the Tiger's going to make it out, no problem. Panzer Pioneer's going to repair the damage. AT gun moving forward. Flare coming out to reveal the Tiger. Tiger has to keep going. Might get another shot here. Instead going for the flak half-track. Now, I believe this flare reveals camouflage. And presumably it would reveal Operation Scorpion camouflage. I was just thinking to myself, wouldn't it be cool if our US or a German player just threw camouflage on all his units right when that push started happening? But infantry are going to have to settle for being the ones that are cloaked. Goliath still hanging out. Bazookas hitting that Funk Panzer there. Tiger blasting those bazookas. And looks like no territory is going to change hands just here. Now, in a situation like this, on this map in particular, I would recommend to our US player to go around the entrenchment and try to distract his opponent by capturing this point over here. It is very difficult to push into an entrenched opponent here in the middle. Pershing is on the field, though. And looks like that Goliath did something. I may have just blown up right here. Potentially the engineers saw it with the minesweeper and destroyed it. Shame I missed that. German trying to plant more mines there on the edge. I would have loved to see that actually happen. Tiger again in the middle. Does have an AT gun covering its rear here, and the Pershing is going to expose itself there. Giving the front armor to the AT gun, though. Both units penetrating. Tiger missing its shot. Pershing being burned by this incendiary munitions from the battlefield espionage. Panzerjägers getting in close, trying to deal some damage, blinding that unit. And nobody losing any units. AT guns just doing a huge number of penetrations. It's just incredible. I mean, this is no slouch. That is a ton of armor. Pershing getting repaired up there. Rifleman gonna have to bail out, being suppressed by this heavy machine gun. And I think we've reached the stage of the game where I would recommend indirect fire to both players, because we are seeing just how effective heavy machine guns are at stopping these pushes from happening. Nice little phosphorus round coming out of our US player to blind that heavy machine gun, let him move in. Pershing dueling with the AT gun. Smoke grenade from these assault grenadiers, basically making so this AT gun can't get much done. And Pershing kind of just camping this whole left side. Yeah, and this is what I mean. I think, you know, our US player, of course, doesn't know this, but this is free real estate, you know, and it's a long walk, but with something like scouts, that's totally doable. That said, he is using his scouts to take away his opponent's fuel. I think, unfortunately for him, ooh, Funk Pans are going down there. It's a nice pickup by the AT guns. Backing away. Second AT gun is here. Assault Grenadiers coming forward to try and deal with it, but not going to happen. Grenades coming out from those riflemen. US player sprinting here. Looks like he might throw an AT grenade. Didn't get in time. Heavy machine gun going to put a stop to that. Black half track also barraging here. And a little bit of a camp fest in the middle here. Pershing trying to come in again, but AT gun's going to shut that down real quick. And man, I mean, so I think what we're witnessing is what some players don't like about Samoy. This map, right? It's a little bit campy, very hard to get into here, and the only way to break it is with indirect fire. Now our US player is going to have access to that Black Dragon artillery barrage. We'll see if he actually wants to use it. Has gone for this rapid reposition, which I think is really smart. Oh, Pershing coming in from the side there, obliterating that Tiger tank. Nicely done. That's important. That's really important for our US player to stay in this game. So, I mean, what we were... That's what happens when you remount an AT gun over and over. It basically resets the reload time and lets you completely nuke a tank that stands in front of it. So, nice pickup for our US player. Now, our German does have the fuel to replace it. AT guns targeting the building. You love to see it. I love that players will target buildings, and is going to pick up the heavy machine gun squad inside the building. Nicely done. So, denying both the building and the unit. Medical half-track in a bad position, should get out of there okay. AT guns moving a little too far forward, but actually going to get a shot on this med truck here. Nice pickup again. German player falling apart a little bit here, losing a ton of units real quickly. There goes another Panzer Pioneer, so really great push into the middle here by our US player. Getting a lot done. I don't think his opponent was expecting that aggression. And fire barrage here. Firestorm coming out. Now, this thing also got a buff. It only costs 100 munitions now instead of 125. And this ability just lasts forever. Like, oh, and German player walking into his own fire barrage there, and is going to lose his AT gun. Assault Grenadiers getting in this shack. Does this thing even have any windows? It does. It's 2 windows. That's funny. AT gun getting some good hits on this level 3 Pershing. Continuing to burn it. Does not have mines in place in a spot that they're going to catch this Pershing. Unfortunately for our German here. Now, our German, you know, despite these insane losses he's been taking, he is not out of this game. And he does have time to get back up to something like another Tiger if he wants to. Another AT gun going down. So, German player on this flank here, thinking about capturing that point. And the vehicles from our German player might get out of here. Pershing thinking about chasing, but deciding not to. Mine right there, barely going to avoid it. That must be annoying. Ooh, big. This would be really big if it backs up into it. Our US player might be losing his Pershing here. Oh, barely going to go the correct way, and our US player does not know how lucky he is to have missed that mine. That could have easily been a lost Sherman. So German player just buying himself more time, right? He's capturing this point on the side here. It's going to give him a lifeline into this game. Tiger is on the field again. And that's going to be good for him. The entire map is red, however, other than the stars. But that is going to be changing very shortly. Panzer here, pushing in a little bit. Pershing chasing everybody down, and that's another Panzer Pioneer. Dunzo. Stolen 50 cal helping out with these riflemen here. Another mine somewhere. Where was that? Oh, finally hitting that mine that almost took that Pershing down. Panzer taking an AT shot. Should be able to get out of there. Is going to get out of there. Black Panzer not dissuaded. Excuse me, flak half-track. Tiger tank phasing through his friendly vehicle there. AT gun continuing to attack ground. It's actually going to connect with the Tiger here. And our US player just picked up the Black Dragon barrage. He is going to have enough to cast that if he wants to. AT guns plucking away there at that Tiger. Gonna force him back. This Vet 3 anti-tank gun is just amazing. It's doing so much work for him. That's more like what I expect from the front armor from a Tiger, right? 2 bounces at long. Oh my goodness, 2 more bounces? I think maybe our US player used up all his luck. Jeez. Pershing on the side here, cleaning up some assault grenadiers. Zuka's going to steal away the fuel point. Looks like there may have been some mines planted there over the course of the game. Potentially. Pershing chasing down the assault grenadiers. And it looks like he might get them. It's going to be close. And is barely going to let them get away. So that's good for our German player. Going to keep him in this game. Losing that heavy machine gun out front, though, is pretty devastating. And, you know, our US player's playing very, very conservatively, right? Well, I say that. He's not playing conservatively at all. What I'm trying to say is our US player can play conservatively. He does not need to force a fight here. HVAP shot coming out from the Pershing there. And huge damage coming down. This Tiger is not long for this world. And nice little flank there from those AT guns. And Treadz gonna throw in the towel here with just 2 infantry units left on the field. And I don't think it's gonna be 2 for very long. Yep. Well played by both players. The fact that oziligath was able to break open the middle without artillery was truly impressive to me. You know, you might argue it was a mistake by our German player losing that tiger in the middle that facilitated that happening. And you might be right, but I think, it was our US player still had to play well in that situation to bring down that tiger, and it really opened the front door for him. And from then on, we just saw a ton of unit and squad wipes. So, nice job by our US player taking advantage of a mistake and capitalizing on it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this game as much as I did, and I will see you in the next one.